Welcome back, guys. In this video we will look at how we can add the functionality of mark complete and delete to our orders table. So far we have been able to list down the orders and we have a pagination here as well, but today what I'm trying to do here is get this the check button and the cross button into picture and add those functionality, right? So this will mark an order as complete and this will remove it. Now if we look at our database structure, this is my orders table. We have is complete, which is 1. The ones which are 0 are basically incomplete, right? And let me make a few ones as 0 as well. Okay, so if I refresh, you will see right now here is only 1 incomplete, and then there will be at least 4 incomplete orders. So what I want to do primarily is through this mark them as is complete equals 1. Okay, so this becomes is complete 1, and on delete basically the row will get deleted. So let's get started. Inside VS Code, I'll first open up restaurant order controller. Here we have a few methods. We have add, we have store. Fine, we will have a new method in here which is going to be for our complete API. Okay, so what do we want in here? We want the post ID, the order ID of order ID. It is required field and it should be present in the orders table, and then we will mark it complete. So let's get started. Okay, so we have the validation in place. Let's bring out our order from the database. And then is complete is 1, and we save the order. And then once this is done, right, we will just save the send back the order with a status code of 201. So I guess, yeah, this is how the complete will work. Why don't we also create the API or the method to handle removing from the database? So remove, it will have the same kind of validations. Only thing here is we have the where clause. We do where and then delete. We don't need to put it in a variable. We can keep this empty. Okay, so these are the two APIs which we will need. Why don't we add them into our api.php? One is going to be complete. Okay, gave me the autocomplete, but a little late. Okay, and let me clear that out. This is going to be remove, and this will be restaurant order controller remove. So we have these two APIs in place, and this is the controller which is going to handle them. Now let's look at the front end part of it. If I go to view, there is this manage orders. If you refresh, right, manage order component, and then there is this order items. So let's open them up. Manage orders. So this is where I'm getting my orders from the props, right, and I'm sending them to order items. So open up order items as well. Okay, here as well, we are sending the orders as props, and I'm doing a for loop in the TD. So basically, each order is not an individual item, but all the um, orders are in this component, which is fine. No, not a big problem. I think the propagation of events will become easy for us. So what we will do first of all is emit two events from this component whenever click on this check icon or the complete icon and the delete icon is done. So we will emit two events. Okay, the events are gonna be at the red click equals, sorry, I'll need to first do the handlers. So hand click complete. Okay, I'll pass the order, copy this. Now I'll add it here as well and name it delete. So once this is done, let's create these two functions. Okay, so we have two functions to handle the click of those two buttons. They are simply going to emit an event and do nothing else. Okay, so yeah, click complete. When this is um, executed, it emits an on complete, and here it emits on delete, and then we will handle them here. We have two events, so at the rate this handle on complete, or rather name it handle order complete to make it a little more verbose. And the second event is on delete. Okay, we will name it handle order, rather delete order, handle delete order. So just to confirm that things are working properly, why don't we console log first. Now I'll have node watch running, npm run watch, and I'll hit refresh, open up my console and see this is not working. I think the watch is now ready. Let's see. Okay, we have delete event id 40, complete event id is 40, which is correct. Our order id here is 40, and if I click on, let me clear it out, click here, it's 42 complete, and this is delete 42. All right, so now the only thing which is left for us to do is trigger the Axios methods, right? So in here I'll import Axios. Why don't we copy the URL? Okay, I need to send the post data, so I'll handle the response in a bit, but basically this is going to be pretty much the same thing for both the methods. Only thing is here we have remove. Okay, now for both these, what are we trying to do? When the order is complete, right, I want to change the is complete status only. In this case, this data is coming through props, and as we know, we can't change the props. So why don't we do one thing? What we will need to do is We will assume that first of all we have a data. In that we will return local orders, which is by default null. And on create, I'll do local orders equals this dot props. Sorry, not props. It's my bad. Was recently doing a lot of React. So this dot local orders is equal to this dot orders, which means I'm assigning my orders coming from the props into my local scope inside the data property. Now I will be able to manipulate the data in here because this is not read-only. The first thing on response we are going to do is on complete, I'll have this dot local orders, sorry, dot data dot for each sorry, for each, okay. I'll have order comma index in here, and what I'm trying to do is if my order ID, which is coming from the the emitted event, right? So if that order ID is equal to response dot data dot ID, then this dot local data index is dot is complete will be equal to 1, and the rest will get handled because the completed and incomplete text which is coming here, right, that is computed property, so I don't have a problem in here. So what we did was we iterated over all the local orders and we checked for this condition, and if it is getting fulfilled, which will be the case because we are sending back the updated order in response, so we change the status of that. Okay, this is as far as our local orders complete goes. However, why don't we do one more thing? If not confirm, so I'll have a small little confirm box in here. Are you sure order is complete? This is basically if the user clicks on that button by mistake, we don't want to penalize him. We will take a confirmation and then do the rest of the things. Similarly, are you sure you want to? Okay, I'll first check for a confirmation. I'll wait for a confirmation, and once this is done, this one should be simple. We will filter out all the orders which are not same as the order ID. So this dot local data orders data is equal to this dot local data orders dot data dot filter local order return local order dot id is not equal to order dot id. Okay, so let's quickly see what I have done. Again, handle order complete. When this event is being triggered by order items, right, this method will be called, and when this event is emitted, handle delete order function will be called. Both these events are triggered whenever their respective buttons are clicked. When this check button is clicked, the click complete function is executed and this event is emitted. Similarly, when the cross button is clicked, okay, click delete method is executed, which emits on delete event, and both of them are sending the order back. here we are catching those events. These are our handlers, the methods which are handling those events. So on complete, order complete rather, first we do a confirmation. We will ask the user whether they really want to do that transaction or not. If they say yes, we take the order ID, send it to this API. In response, we get the order ID. So what we do is we mark the is complete to 1, which will in result change it from incomplete to complete. For delete, we again do a confirmation. If the user confirms it, we delete it, and then we run a filter function. What does the filter function do? It will iterate through all the elements in here, okay, and it will return only those elements which fulfill this condition. And what is this condition? It is saying that out of these 10, 20 orders, only return me the orders whose ID is not equal to the order ID. Which is that order ID? The order which is being deleted, or which the user is requesting for deletion, right? So if that ID is not equal to the current ID, then we return it back. And this entire thing, we are assigning it back to the local orders. And that is the reason we expect that the local orders will be filtered with the new data set which doesn't have the deleted item. Okay, so a lot of explanation has been done, and let's just hope whatever we have written actually works. So refresh once more. I have this order which is in incomplete mode. Rather, let me try with this one. Second order ID is 40. If I click on check, it asks for a confirmation and then makes an API call, and the status is completed, right? Let's try the next one. Order ID 39 marked as complete, right? And now let's just say I have this order from Amitav Roy complete, because let's say the customer said that we don't want that, so we will delete it. Click OK, and that order is gone, right? So yeah, this is how we are able to add orders, complete orders and remove orders from this table. You need to understand that we have removed it from the database as well when it comes to delete. So if we refresh now, my order will be gone, right? And when it comes to marking them as complete, yep, I can do a check, and now all my orders are complete, and I will have to wait for a new order to execute. So yeah, that's about it. That's how we have used the event emitters in Vue. My child component is emitting certain events and doing nothing else, and then the parent component, the component which is working as a container, right, it handles those events. It makes all those ajax calls and all heavy lifting, and once that is done, it will change the data, and accordingly the child components receive those information and they re-render themselves, updating themselves to the action which the user took. So when it comes to completion, right, the container made those API call, it changed the status from is complete 0 to 1. The child component understood that, it rendered itself accordingly, because the status is a computed property in here, right? It is a computed property that if order complete is 1, it says completed, otherwise it's incomplete. And similarly, when it goes to delete, I click on delete. From the child component, event emits to the parent component makes an ajax call, deletion is done, and then we filter it out. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. If you like the video, do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.